In Season 4 of Fortnite, a meteor crashed down onto the island. The visitor, a member of the Seven, came out of the meteor and began collecting hop rocks, shards of the meteor. He would then use these hop rocks to turn a fake movie set rocket into a legit rocket. The visitor launched the rocket and used rift technology to teleport somewhere. We don't know where he teleported, but what we do know is that whatever was on the separate side of the rift he left was dark. Then, in Season 5, over time, the rift would slowly begin to turn more and more purple. Then one day, this happened. A mysterious purple cube was spawned down from a bolt of lightning and the rift would disappear. This cube was sentient, alien, seemingly indestructible. It was aware of its surroundings, and if you shot it, it would shoot you back. The Fortnite community gave this cube a name. Kevin. The cube eventually began rotating and moving on its own. Nobody knew where it was headed, but one day when the cube flipped over, it started glowing, buzzing, and made a low gravity dome around itself. When the cube flipped over next time, it revealed a strange rune that it had printed on the ground. The cube made its way to 6 other locations and did the same thing, printing different runes. Funnily enough, if you connect these rune locations on the map with lines, it makes a cube. When the cube was finished planting its runes, it made its way to Loot Lake, ready to begin the second phase of its plan. You see, cubes are owned by a faction named the Last Reality, an evil army of aliens with a strict objective to do nothing but end all of reality. Reality Zero, the Fortnite reality, was no exception. To end it though, they needed to get to the 0 point, and Kevin knew exactly where it was, under Loot Lake. The cube rolled into Loot Lake and dissolved, turning the water purple and bouncy. For the rest of Season 5, Kevin would charge energy under Loot Lake until Season 6, where he rose back up out of the lake as a cube once more, carrying the entire central island. Now with the hole exposed that leads directly to the 0 point, all the cube had to do now was gather enough energy to destroy it, and that's exactly where the runes would come in. The runes the cube planted the prior season have been charging up dark energy this entire time, and is now ready to be harnessed by the cube. Carrying the entire island, the cube made its way back to each rune and obtained power from them. Once the cube was overcharged with darkness, it called all the runes to it to gather even more power one last time. Then finally, when it got all the energy it could, it went back to Loot Lake. The cube was pulsing with energy, hardly being able to contain it, but it was now time for the last phase of its plan. The cube charged up and sent a shockwave of darkness flowing across the island, marking the start of Fortnite as cube zombies began to spawn all over the map. Along with that, the cube began shooting its power up into the sky, trying to create a portal for the last reality. Eventually though, the cube would crack, unable to contain the immense power it held. The cube knew that even as powerful as it wasn't powerful enough to successfully create the portal for the last reality, but it did its best to get the job done alone, and with the last ditch effort, it began dropping its dark energy directly onto the 0 point. However, in the end, it still wouldn't be enough. The cube, now drained of all its power, lost, and the only thing it could do now is self-destruct. It spun around violently until it blew up, but before it could do any damage, the 0 point teleported us to the in-between, the realm of the 0 point that connects all realities. Then the butterfly rift appeared and teleported us back to the island, showing us that Kevin's reign of terror was finally over, as he was now just shards left in the middle of Leaky Lake. In Season 7, with the coming of the Ice King, he would use a fragment of the cube to cast a dark blizzard over the map, causing zombies to return, this time icy though. The shards of the cube would remain in Leaky Lake until the island government would dig up the ground it rested on to reveal a massive bunker that housed the 0 point. The cube wouldn't return until 2 seasons later in Season X, where a member of the Seven named the Scientist would use a rift beacon and accidentally bring it back, but it didn't matter. The 0 point was unstable and the Seven had a risky plan to restabilize it. All members of the Seven in their own rockets would use rifts to teleport the meteor, the same meteor the visitor came in to start all this, above the 0 point and crash into it. They were successful, and the 0 point reacted by sucking in all the matter of the map, including the cube, and rearranging it into the Chapter 2 map, which is why we have Steamy Stacks, a power plant charged with the cube's energy. We wouldn't see cubes again until Chapter 2 Season 7, when the mothership arrived. We didn't know until the Skyfire event when we went up into the mothership that they had cubes, we being everyone else because I knew and they all called me crazy, but they did. And we didn't just discover that they made another cube, we discovered that they had hundreds of thousands of cubes, as well as a golden queen cube. Before we discovered that though, we used the EMP to disable a cube, and somehow used our energy as a looper to reboot the cube and turn it blue, a non-evil cube. In the event, the mothership would blow up, sending 5 purple cubes, the queen cube, and the blue cube down to the map. This leads to Chapter 2 Season 8. Throughout the season, the queen cube would make its way to each of the cubes. When it got to one, it would begin to hover and shoot energy into the purple cube, powering it up. After the queen cube did this to a cube, the cube would for one begin to move a lot more often, and second, spawn down several other baby cubes that would follow the main cube wherever it went. Interestingly though, these cubes this season wouldn't shoot back at you or bounce you as far, and the purple ones left a trail of orange corruption behind them. Also, there were 5 cubes that originally came down from the mothership until a 6th cube emerged from none other than Steamy Stacks. The OG Kevin was back, spelled out on the ground for confirmation. Anyways, when the queen cube was done powering all the cubes, it went to the center of the map and began charging up. As it charged up, all the other cubes made their way to the center as well. Once they were all in place, the cube queen emerged from the golden cube and used her power to form all the cubes into the convergence. For the rest of the season, she would gain energy from the convergence and set up to do what Kevin couldn't. End Reality Zero. The blue rebooted cube didn't move the entire season, sitting in one spot on the side of the map where players could use it to get to full shield. It didn't come into use until the end event, where it was set up at a retaliation base. The event began when the cube queen had the power she needed. With all of her energy, she shot a beam up into the sky and effortlessly opened up a portal to the entire Last Reality army, where it was revealed that there were several motherships full of queen cubes and even the mothership of all the motherships, the Cube Cradle. A full-scale invasion of the Last Reality was being set out onto the island, and it seemed like it was all over. But with the help of the Seven, we managed to flip the island over and close the portal, stopping all the progress the Cube Queen had made, and seemingly killing her off. It's not confirmed if she died, but it definitely saved reality. From here on out, we haven't seen anything cube related in Fortnite. There have been teases of the Last Reality returning, like the Herald somehow being connected to them, as well as the Chalice of Cube-tastrophe, but nothing set in stone. So that is the entire history of cubes in Fortnite. Now, cubes are actually the reason why I'm currently grinding YouTube. I used to watch the cube all day back in Season 5 in Playground mode, and I want to be able to do that again when the cube returns in Season 5 OG this year, but Fortnite took Playground mode out of the game. So now the only way to watch in a private match is to be a content creator. When you get 1,000 subscribers, Fortnite gives you a thing called a supporter creator code, and with it you can actually make custom games, and I could go into a game by myself and it'd be like a temporary Playground mode. So if you want to help me relive my nostalgia for the cube, please subscribe and help me get to 1,000 subscribers before June. Thanks for watching.